I'm Ashlyn.
And I'm Zach.
And this is Sierra, and we're traveling A to Z.
This week we're in Yellowstone.
Join us as we take you along the Grand Loop Road and show you some of the top stops in Yellowstone National Park.
We made it to Yellowstone National Park. We are doing the Grand Loop. So there's a couple ways you could drive. So there's a lower loop, which has a lot of the geysers, an upper loop that has more of the hot springs, and then an in-between that kind of cuts through. So it kind of looks like a figure 8. If you do the whole Grand Loop, it's 142 miles. If you do the upper loop, it's 70 miles. If you do the lower loop, it's 96 miles. So it just depends on kind of what you want to do. We're starting with the lower loop and kind of going all the way up to the upper loop. So we started the loop at Old Faithful and went north. We're gonna end up at Mammoth and then head down the loop because we're going clockwise and end up at Canyon Village. And then we'll continue the Grand Loop. We made it to Yellowstone. Our first stop is to Moose Falls, which is right after the south entrance.
Moose Falls is a short, easy 0.1 mile hike from the pull-out parking area to the falls. The falls is approximately 30 feet tall.
The road is currently following the Lewis River, named for Lewis from the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Our next stop is to Isa Lake on the Continental Divide at 8,262 feet.
This is Isa Lake, and this is the Continental Divide sign. Isa Lake has a whole bunch of big lily pads here.
Isa Lake is unusual because it drains into two different oceans. The west side of the lake drains to the Pacific Ocean, and the east side of the lake drains to the Atlantic Ocean. Kepler Cascade is a beautiful waterfall located approximately 2.5 miles south of Old Faithful.
So this is Kepler's Cascade, over 100-foot cascade waterfall. And it is right outside of the Geyser Basin.
We're now heading to go check out Old Faithful Inn.
The famous Old Faithful Inn, and we're going to give you a tour.
The Old Faithful Inn is located in Yellowstone National Park near the iconic Old Faithful Geyser. The inn is an example of rustic architecture and is a National Historic Landmark. The inn is renowned for its massive log structure and distinctive design that harmonizes the natural surroundings. Its center feature is a 7-story lobby with a steeply pitched roof, a massive stone fireplace, a handcrafted clock made of copper, wood, and iron. The lodge was built in 1903 and it took 50 men 1 year to build this. They used approximately 10,000 lodgepole pines to build the building and is the world's largest log cabin.
On the second floor, everyone could come up here, even if you're not staying here. They have sitting areas, they have espresso area, and a bar. So we took the 45-minute tour around and they told us the history of the lodge. It was really neat. Recommend it if you're in the area. It's free and you meet at the big fireplace.
Our favorite part of the Old Faithful Inn is the viewing platform on the second floor.
So you could sit on the lounge, have a drink, and watch Old Faithful erupt.
Old Faithful is one of the most famous geysers in the world and a must-see feature in Yellowstone National Park. Watching Old Faithful erupt for the first time is pretty magical. It's amazing the power it has. Old Faithful Geyser is right outside of Old Faithful Inn.
We're gonna go see Old Faithful Geyser. Yeah, we're gonna see a geyser for the first time. Are you excited? There's sitting areas everywhere.
Old Faithful is one of the most famous geysers. It erupts approximately every 60 to 110 minutes. At the front desk of the Old Faithful Inn, there is a clock that tells you when they expect the next eruption to occur. There's also a free app called Geyser Times that gives you a different time of eruption for a lot of different geysers in the park. When the geyser erupts, it typically lasts about 1.5 to 5 minutes in length. The eruptions can reach 106 to 180 feet tall or 32 to 56 meters.
We're gonna head to the visitor center, which is right next to the Old Faithful Inn.
The Old Faithful Visitor Center is a premier destination within Yellowstone National Park, and it offers visitors an immersive experience into the park's unique geothermal features and volcanic geology. The center exhibits talk about the hydrothermal wonders, including geysers, hot springs, mud pots, and fumaroles. There's also a few hands-on activities for kids and families. In the visitor center, there is a viewing area so you can watch Old Faithful erupt from indoors. From Old Faithful, which is in the Upper Geyser Basin, we hiked to some of the other geysers in the area.
We're gonna go hike the Upper Geyser Basin.
We're doing the Green Loop to Morning Glory and back.
This hike has a lot of different geysers along the hike.
The Upper Geyser Basin has a whole bunch of boardwalks and trails, with the main trail network around 5 miles round trip, but you could do a whole bunch of shorter loops. Upper Geyser Basin is one of the most famous geothermal areas in Yellowstone National Park. It's located in the southwest section of the park near Old Faithful. It is home to the largest concentration of geysers in the world, with hundreds of geothermal features packed into a few square miles.
Yellowstone houses over 50% of the world's geysers. It has a lot of geysers here because Yellowstone is on top of a super volcano. Last time it erupted, I think it was like 65,000 years ago.
The major highlight of the Upper Geyser Basin is Old Faithful. There's also quite a few other famous geysers in this area.
We just saw Turbine Geyser erupt, and then Grand Geyser is here. It's supposed to be one of the world's tallest predictable geysers. Turbine Geyser usually erupts, and then Grand Geyser erupts after that. So we saw something else geysering. Can that be a word, geysering versus erupting? I don't know. I kind of like the word geysering. Giant Geyser is one of the largest geysers in the world when it's erupting. It can go up to 300 feet. This is Giant Geyser right here. And it's a cone type geyser. Wow, its eruption can last from 1 to 1.5 hours and expel over 1 million gallons of water. It's a lot of water.
Grotto's eruption can vary from 50 minutes to more than 24 hours. The unusual shape of the cone of Grotto Geyser has long captured the imagination of explorers, artists, and visitors.
Riverside Geyser is located along the Firehole River. It is a cone-type geyser, and when it erupts, it arcs over the river.
About 1.8 miles in and by the Riverside Geyser is a bathroom and sitting area and trash, which is very convenient.
Hi.
Are we on the boardwalk looking at geysers on the upper basin? Really nice boardwalks the whole way. You could take a stroller on here, which would be nice, or a wheelchair. The one thing though, in the morning, it is slick as snot. Like, you're like ice skating. It was really, really slippery. So be aware of the ice patches.
We made it to the Morning Glory Pool, which is one of the most iconic and visually stunning hot springs in the Upper Geyser Basin. This is where we're going to turn around at.
The different colors of Morning Glory are because of the different types of bacteria. Castle Geyser. Usually erupts twice a day. Upper Geyser Basin is a really nice hike. I recommend it because it really gives you a view of all the different types of geysers around. And it's not that hard of a hike, it's pretty flat. To do the loop through the boardwalk and then back on the road, it was right around 3 miles total.
Geysers are pretty cool. Sierra really liked it, and it was neat to see, especially when it's cold. You can see all the steam coming up.
Biscuit Basin is a small geothermal area located north of the Upper Geyser Basin, about 2 miles from Old Faithful. It was named after the biscuit-shaped formations that once surround Sapphire Pool. Unfortunately, these were destroyed by a major eruption in 1959. The trail is about a half-a-mile loop around a boardwalk.
Wow. The geyser's going off. Wow. That was Jewel Geyser that just went off. It's pretty neat, huh? This Shell Spring.
The Grand Prismatic Spring is located in the Midway Geyser Basin, about 6 miles north of Old Faithful.
Okay, we're gonna start here to the Grand Prismatic Overlook to the Grand Prismatic Springs and then back down. So we're hiking to the Grand Prismatic Overlook. It's 0.8 miles one way. You park at the ferry trailhead.
The Grand Prismatic Springs Overlook is one of the best vantage points to view the vibrant colors and enormous size of the Grand Prismatic Spring. It is over 370 feet in diameter, larger than a football field, and over 120 feet deep.
Are we hiking? We're hiking? So we're heading to the left to go to the Overlook.
The spring has vivid colors. A blue center, green, yellow, orange, and red edges, all created by microbial mats that thrive in the varying temperatures of the spring.
We made it to the top, 171 feet elevation gain.
The best time to visit is midday on a sunny day for the most vivid spring colors. Unfortunately, it was pretty cloudy on the day we came, but it was still really neat to see.
Did you see the Grand Prismatic Springs?
Yes, we did.
Hiking in Yellowstone's tough work and very tiring. All trails said it was 186 feet elevation gain and 1.56 miles total. So it was pretty nice.
Firehole Canyon Drive is a scenic 2-mile one-way road that follows the Firehole River. On this drive, you come to Firehole Falls, which is a beautiful 40-foot waterfall tumbling through a narrow basalt canyon. There's also a Firehole swimming area which you could swim in during the midsummer. The water temperatures vary because it's heated by geothermal runoff. We unfortunately did not check it out. Gibbon Falls is a beautiful waterfall along the Gibbon River located on the Grand Loop Road.
To the Overlook, it's 400 feet. To the lower part of the falls, it's 1,000 feet.
There's a paved pullout with a short half-a-mile round-trip walk that allows for great views of the falls. The falls is about 84 feet tall or 25.6 meters.
This is at the end of the 1,000-foot walk towards Gibbon Falls to the bottom. I don't think you need to go all the way to the bottom. I think if you go about 500 or 600 feet, like halfway where that sign says, hey, you have another 400 feet, I think that'd be sufficient.
Beryl Springs is located right off the Grand Loop Road between Norris Geyser Basin and Gibbon Falls.
Our next stop is to Beryl Springs.
The Springs is one of the hottest and most continuously active hot springs in Yellowstone National Park. The temperature is around 196 degrees Fahrenheit or 91 degrees Celsius, which is near boiling. This spring is named for its blue-green color, though the steam often obscures the vibrant color. Norris Geyser Basin is renowned as the park's hottest, oldest, and most dynamic geothermal area.
We made it to Norris Geyser and Basin.
The basin is comprised of 3 main areas: Porcelain Basin, Back Basin, and 100 Springs Plain.
We are going to do the Back Basin, which is a 1.6 mile loop to see a whole bunch of different geysers.
Emerald Springs is one of our first stops and is famous for its vibrant green color.
So it's 27 feet deep, this Emerald Springs, and the yellow around it is sulfur deposits.
Norris is home to Steamboat Geyser, which is the world's tallest active geyser.
We are currently at Steamboat Geyser. It erupts every 4 days to 50 years. You just never know when it's gonna erupt. So when it does erupt, it could go up to 300 feet tall, which is 2 to 3 times the height of Old Faithful erupting. That's pretty tall, because Old Faithful is pretty tall.
Splashing out right
It's splashing, that's not erupting.
Yes,
That's not a tall column.
So?
That's like, it's like farting.
Yeah,
That's
it's
farting.
a wet fart. Look at that. That is a wet fart. Yeah.
Yeah, is that pretty?
Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty. That is Cistern Springs.
It smells like sulfur.
Brown, orange, and green color represent species of visible algae and bacteria, with a whole bunch of dead trees behind it because of it being so hot. Black pit. The orange color comes from iron and splinters of silica. It's a very acidic geyser, and its pH is less than a lemon. There are 4 different types of hydrothermal activity in this park. There's femorails, there's geysers, there's hot springs, and there is mud pots. Of the 4 hydrothermal activities found in the park and in the world, hot springs are the most common. Just walked into the bottom of a little hill, and it's like a river going through that's just steaming and hot the whole way. Really cool. So you can't swim in any of these because they're like boiling, and some aren't boiling, but they change to different temperatures because of the earthquake activity. They have hundreds of earthquakes a day, actually. Just most of them you can't feel. There's a couple hot springs that you could actually swim in. One's in Hell's Canyon, that is where the water merges, the hot water merges with the river, the cold river, and so it's supposed to be perfect to swim in. The other hot springs is in Mammoth Hot Springs. It is a mud pot! This is blue mud. It's boiling. It's one of the 4 hydrothermic activities here. Yellow Funnel Springs. Kind of yellow, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like a bathtub.
Look at the Monarch Geyser crater. This is Minute Geyser. Pretty cool geyser. I guess in the past it used to erupt every 60 seconds, but now because of the changes in the earth and earthquakes, and now is unpredictable. So this is the porcelain loop of the Norris landscape, and this area is named for it.
Porcelain Basin Trail is approximately 3/4 a mile or 1.2 kilometers. It typically takes about 30 to 45 minutes to walk it at a leisure pace.
What do we think about that one? Is that one a good one? Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. Ooh, we're getting wet. Ah! The wind changed.
We're moving.
Ah! We're getting wet. The wind changed and we're now getting, oh my gosh. Ah! It's steam, cold steam. Holy smokes. Woo! Okay, let me wipe that off. We're gonna smell like sulfur now. We just got a sulfur bath. A sulfur steam bath, I should say. Sierra liked it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Porcelain Basin is a lot more barren and open compared to the back basin, which is more wooded. The trail is made entirely of boardwalks due to the fragile and dangerous geothermal ground. As you walk the loop, it offers panoramic views of features like Whirligig Geyser, Crackling Lake, and Ledge Geyser.
The different colors here are so neat to see. Like the stream is green, you have different colors of geysers and build up from different minerals such as sulfur and iron and different colors of types of bacteria. It's really neat. Oh, isn't that a beautiful black bear? Cool. It's soft, huh? Yeah, and that's a skull. Is that a skull?
Look at his teeth.
Oh, look at that teeth.
He's got meat
more
eating
teeth
teeth
than
and
you
he's
do.
got veggie eating teeth. Yeah, you got more
Whoa.
teeth. You're gonna have chompers like this pretty soon.
Someday.
Can I see that? I'm not gonna bite you. Cool, huh?
Very cool. We just left Norris Basin and we are now heading to Mammoth Hot Springs, which is about 35 miles if you just drive straight and don't stop. And they're supposed to have really cool formations.
Roaring Mountain is just north of Norris Geyser Basin along the Grand Loop Road.
This is Roaring Mountain, has a whole bunch of fumaroles, which is the steam that is coming out of the mountainside.
In the early 1900s, the mountain emitted such a loud roar from the escaping steam that it could be heard miles away, hence the name Roaring Mountain. Obsidian Cliff is a geological and historic feature located between Mammoth Hot Springs and Norris Geyser Basin.
This is Obsidian Cliff National Monument. It's the first monument in Yellowstone. This monument is on the National Historic Registry because it's the first monument made out of obsidian, which is a rock from hot lava after it cools down.
Sheepeater Cliff is located approximately 8 miles south of Mammoth Hot Springs.
Are we gonna go see Sheepeater Cliff? This is Sheepeater Cliff, which are basalt columns formed over 500,000 years ago by the lava cooling down.
As the lava cooled, it contracted and fractured into vertical hexagonal columns, a process known as columnar jointing. There is a 0.9-mile trail along the river that provides scenic views of the cliffs and surrounding areas. Mammoth Hot Springs is located near the park's northern entrance.
We made it to Mammoth Hot Springs and we're at the upper terrace.
Mammoth Hot Springs comprises nearly 100 hot springs spread over step-like travertine terraces. The terraces have formed over thousands of years as hot water heated by a magmatic system beneath Yellowstone rises through limestone, dissolves calcium carbonate. Upon reaching the surface, the water cools, releasing carbon dioxide and depositing the calcium carbonate as travertine creates the distinctive white chalky formations. The presence of algae and bacteria in the warm pools adds vibrant hues of brown, orange, red, and green to the terraces.
We're at Pallet Spring, which is at the top of the lower terrace.
We're now heading to the lower terrace.
This is Orange Mountain. You can see how smooth it is and how the water is still dripping on the sides. So this is Angel Terrace. So this is Liberty Cap. It's on the lower terrace. So this is the Platte Springs from the bottom. This is where we saw the pools at the top.
Platte Springs is a prominent geothermal feature located in the lower terrace of Mammoth Hot Springs.
So at Mammoth Hot Springs, it's basically a complex. They have dining room, they have hotel lodging, and a place to get food. And this is the main quarters for this is the main headquarters for the National Park Service. We are currently leaving Mammoth Hot Springs and we are now continuing through the Grand Loop to the Roosevelt Tower area.
Undine Falls is a waterfall located approximately 4 miles east of Mammoth Hot Springs along the Grand Loop Road.
This is Undine Falls. It's a 60-foot waterfall that's tiered. There's 3 major sections.
Petrified Tree is located just west of Tower Junction and is a short drive and brief walk from a designated parking area.
This is Petrified Tree. It's behind gates because people are vandalizing it, but it's over 50 million years old.
The tree stands approximately 10 feet tall or 3 meters. The Brink of the Upper Falls is 1.6 miles from Canyon Junction south on the Grand Loop Road.
I'm heading to Brink of the Upper Falls. We're in the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone right now.
There's a 1/4 mile or 0.4 kilometer round trip trail that takes you to 3 different overlooks. It is about 75 feet elevation change.
That's Brink of the Upper Falls. Now we're gonna go to Brink of the Middle Falls. Now we're going to Brink of the Lower Falls, which is steps down.
The short trail leads to a fenced overlook perched directly above the upper falls. From this vantage point, you could witness the Yellowstone River plunging 109 feet or 33 meters into the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. The Brink of the Lower Falls is located in the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone area, which is near Canyon Village off the North Rim Drive.
We're currently on the north rim of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, exploring the waterfalls. "600 feet and 0.38 miles. Oh my gosh, I may die. Okay, this is an intense hike down, but at least it's only 3/8 of a mile. This hike weaves itself back and forth. At least they have little seats at almost every turn. It's a really steep trail. Very, very steep. Going up is not going to be fun, but it should be a beautiful view of the Brink of the Lower Falls. So on the Lower Brink Trail, you have good views of the Upper Brink Falls. So there was 10 switchbacks from the bottom to the top, well 10 and a little bit. Whew, it's definitely up. It was cool, I liked it. Really good views of the canyon.
So we did the north rim of the Lower Brink Falls. Waste of time. Go to the south side, it's way better.
We're walking from the Lower Brink Falls to the lookout. It's about a half-a-mile walk. They have pretty overviews and you actually could see the lower falls better from the walk. That's not 600 feet elevation gain than going down to the Brink. Lower Falls. This half a mile is kind of up and down though. It's not quite as flat as I thought it would be. We made it to Lookout Point. Okay, let's go see this lookout.
Let's do it. Look at the waterfall.
This is Lower Falls, 308 feet. So the depth is 750 feet to 1,200 feet, depending on what section of the Yellowstone Grand Canyon you're at.
A mile down the road, we made it to Inspiration Point.
Inspiration Point is supposed to have the best views of the canyon. It's at a bend in the river, so you have views from both sides. Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone could be around 1,500 to 4,000 feet wide in different sections. This canyon was formed by eroded and decomposed rhyolite lava rock.
Artist Point is located on the South Rim Drive near Canyon Village.
We are at Artist Point. It's supposed to be one of the best views of the canyon. We're on the south rim of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone.
Artist Point is one of the most iconic and photographed viewpoints in Yellowstone National Park. It offers breathtaking view of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone and the lower falls from the south rim.
This is Lower Yellowstone Falls.
We're now heading south on the Grand Loop Road towards the Lake Village.
They're the guys that have been blocking the traffic. They keep going back and forth.
Our next stop is to Lake Yellowstone Hotel, which is located within the Lake Village area on the northern shore of Yellowstone Lake.
You could recognize the Lake Yellowstone Hotel by its yellow color.
Lake Yellowstone Hotel, also known as the Grand Lady of the Lake, is the oldest operating hotel in Yellowstone National Park and is one of the most historically significant lodges in the U.S. National Park System. It is situated on the north shore of Yellowstone Lake. The hotel has been welcoming guests since 1891. In 2015, Lake Yellowstone Hotel was designated a National Historic Landmark, acknowledging its architectural significance and role in the early development of tourism in Yellowstone National Park. Bridge Bay is home to the primary marina on Yellowstone Lake. It is located in the Lake Village area.
We are at Lake Yellowstone Marina, and they have little boat cruises and scenic cruises and also boat rentals.
The Bridge Bay Marina serves as a gateway to experiencing Yellowstone Lake's natural beauty and recreational opportunities.
So for $68, you could rent a boat per hour for up to 6 people, but unfortunately they have to be over 2 years of age to go. So we can't go, but it would be a lot of fun. They also have scenic boat rides that you could go on, and she could go on that. And I think that was $21 a person, and 3 and under were free. They just don't have any times that work for us, so we're not gonna go on that either. But this is a really pretty marina and a really big lake. We're currently at Lake Yellowstone at Promise Point. Has gorgeous views of the lake. This is a huge lake. It's the biggest lake in Yellowstone, and it's over 410 feet deep. This stop is right off of the Grand Loop.
The West Thumb Geyser Basin is located on the western shores of Yellowstone Lake.
We made it to the West Thumb. We are heading on the boardwalk towards the lake to look at the hydrothermal activity.
The trail is a 0.6 mile or 1 kilometer loop and takes approximately 30 to 60 minutes to do. The West Thumb Geyser Basin is smaller than other geyser basins in the park, but it offers a diverse array of thermal features set against the stunning backdrop of the lake and the mountains.
Black pool. Wow, look how deep it is.
Anything about the West Thumb?
I don't know much about the West Thumb either, but it is a caldera, a small caldera inside of a large caldera. Yellowstone is a big caldera that's over 900 miles in length, and this is just a little small one in that big caldera. And so you have this hydrothermal activity, and the lake is literally right there. And so it does actually warm up part of the lake, so it's a little warmer. And in the winter, it has holes where there's ice not formed compared to the rest of the lake, which can be up to a foot deep. And then the animals will come here and bathe in the hot water in the winter. How fun is that? Fishing cone.
So if you look in the water behind me, there's a cone under the water. Apparently when the lake level is lower, you used to be able to catch a fish and then drop it into that cone to cook it, because there's hot water coming out of there.
I hope you enjoyed exploring Yellowstone National Park with us. Please subscribe below to follow more of our adventures.